After creating the table and assigning the field name, we have to assign the data types. First, we need to understand what kind of value we are going to store in this field. Then, according to the value, we will assign data types. There are 13 data types available in the Access. If we want to save any text, then we have two options. If we have a short, if our characters are less, up to 255, then we can use short text. It is good to use short text for the name of the customer, supplier, name of the employee, or short description of any product or such kind of data. Otherwise, we can use long text such as long description of the product, address. If we want to save the numbers, say quantity of the product, then we will use numbers. There are two options for saving the numbers and the large numbers. Large number is available in the Access 2019 and onwards. If you are going to shift your database from older version to the new version, so it is not recommended to create any field with a large number because you may lose your data. So always use numbers if you want to save the numbers in which you want to do any calculation, such as the quantity of any product. We have further field size of the numbers which we will discuss later in this video. If we want to save the date, then we can save the data types as a date and time. If we want to save monetary data types such as the amount and any type of currency, then we must use currency type. If we have any number in which we want increment whenever we save any new data, then we will use auto numbers such as the vendor code, product code, or invoice number, because whenever we save a new record, we want a unique number, and invoice number must be increment by 1 every time whenever we save a new invoice. So it is good idea to save the invoice number manually each time we assign the auto number. So Access automatically save a new number whenever we create a new record. We can also save logical values. Sometimes we require yes or no, true or false in the field, so we can use yes or no. We can also save pictures, graphs, sound and video files. For saving these kind of files, we can use OLE objects. We can also create hyperlinks. We can also attach the files such as PDF, Excel, Word, or any kind of file to our database. We can also create a field in which we can do the calculation. We can also display the data from the another table using the Lookup Wizard. Now I will give you the tips for selecting the correct data type for the values. What is the data type? The data type should reflect the data stored in the field. If our application requires numerical calculations such as addition, subtraction, etc., choose numbers. Don't store data like phone number or social security number in the numeric field. Select short text for these kind of data. Numeric field never store leading zeros. Suppose we want to save zip code in which the first value is 0, and if we select number for this field, we will lose 0. Only 5 characters will be saved in this field. So I suggest in this case you always select short text. Will you want to sort or index the field? Because of the binary nature, long text and OLE object field cannot be sorted or indexed. Use short text or number if you want to sort or index any number. What is the impact of data type on sorting requirement? Let's take the example. If data type is number and data will be sort in sequence such as 1, 2, 3, 20 and 200. But if data type is text, sorting result would be different. One, not as per our desire. It must be 1, 2, 3, 20 and 200. But it will be 1, 2, 20, 200 and 3. So first we need to convert these text into numbers, then we will get the proper sorting. Always use date and time data type for sorting date, time value instead of short text. Dates would be sorted and used for the calculations. The short text data type hold information that is simply characters, letters, numbers, punctuations, etc. Numeric data that are not used in the calculations, such as telephone numbers, social security numbers, PAN numbers, and zip codes, can be entered in the short text only. We can enter maximum 255 characters in the short text. If we have more characters, then we must use long text. Number data type is used to do the mathematical calculations or represent scalar quantities such as inventory counts. If you have data that will be used in monetary calculations, so I suggest use currency data type, which perform calculations without rounding errors. When we select numbers, we need to select the field size as well. By default, it would be integer. If we have numbers within this range, so select integers. If it is very long numbers, then select long integer. If it is much more than that, then select single. If we have decimal places in the numbers, then select double. We rarely use replication ID or the decimals. The most usable field settings would be double or long integer. Large number data types are used to hold values from this range to this range. It is added to the access mainly for the capability with other databases that have this data type, especially SQL servers, but large number data type is not supported earlier version of access. Date and time, this data type is used to store date and time in the field. It is very easy to calculate days between dates and other calendar operations. Date data stored in the date time field can be short, filtered properly as well. We have already discussed about the currency. Auto number also we have discussed. Yes and no also discussed. OLE objects also discussed. Hyperlink. The hyperlink data type field hold combination of text and numbers stored as a text and used as a hyperlink. So whenever user click on that particular link, the new web address will open. Attachment, we can attach the pictures, image and other types of files in the database. Calculated field, it is very interesting. A calculated field hold an expression that can include number, text, field from within the same table. It means we can do the calculation getting the data from another field from the same table. We cannot get the data in the calculated field from another table. Let's take the example. If we had taxable amount field and a sales tax rate field, so we also want to calculate the tax amount, so we can do the calculation in another field and we can give the reference of the taxable amount field multiplied by the sales tax rate and we will get the sales tax amount in that particular field. No need to do the calculation in the query or any form or any report. We will get the sales tax amount in that particular table itself. Lookup Wizard is also very useful. We will use this Lookup Wizard frequently in our project.